So before I hit play on this particular episode today, I received a download on what I wanted to talk about. So I was actually going to talk about a completely different topic. And before I jumped on, it was just like, boom, you need to talk about this. And it's quite bold to talk about this particular topic, but I want this podcast to be a representation of giving you the audacity to step into your big life, to step into the life that truly lights your soul on fire, and to give you the audacity to do that in your own life as well. Because when we have the audacity to go after what it is that we truly desire and be bold in that as well, that's when we create the life that we truly, truly desire, right? Because when we just, create desires from that space of, I feel like this is possible for me based on what I have attracted up until this point, or I will just go after the same things that I've always asked for, or, I will create desires based on what other people desire for me or for my kids or from that space, rather than claiming what it is that you truly desire and stepping into her and having the audacity to just be so loud about it. Because the thing is that we are taught that we shouldn't tell people about our desires. Because how often have you blown out the candles on your birthday cake, and when you go to make the wish, everyone's like, shh, don't tell anyone. Don't tell anyone your wish, otherwise it won't come true. So we have been programmed right from the ripe old age of when we first make a wish on our birthday that we shouldn't tell the world what we are manifesting. We shouldn't be bold and claim and have the audacity to step into and claim that life for ourselves. And that is just wild to me. So I wanted to create this particular podcast episode to boldly claim what I am stepping into, to give you the permission to do that in your own life as well. So about a month and a half ago, I truly realized that 2024 had been such an incredibly magical year. And I was sitting there, reevaluating my vision, because I did manifest everything that I'd asked for within the 6 months. And it was at that point where I was just like, okay, well, we need to go bigger. We need to go bigger because, these desires are wonderful, they're incredible, but there is so much more. And as soon as I had that realization, it was like this click in me. And I was like, I need to go bigger. And I made the internal decision to step into my $1 million identity, right? The $1 million identity. So what do I mean by stepping into an identity? Because you're probably thinking, well, hang on a second, don't you just, ask for what it is that you desire? Put the dream car, put the dream home on the vision board, and then that manifests. But I want to help you go beyond the vision board, right? Go beyond the vision board, because a lot of the time that's where so many people stop. They stop at the vision board and they don't go to a really, really important piece of the puzzle, which is actually the identity behind that vision, right? So as soon as I decided, okay, I'm going to step into my $1 million identity, that is when I created bigger, bolder desires from that space. Because I was like, okay, so what would be different about my life now that I have stepped into my $1 million identity? And the powerful thing about identity, and I'm being bold here and stepping into this identity, like what I mentioned before, because my external reality right now, or at this point where I said, hang on, I'm going to step into my $1 million identity, my 3D reality said, what? Like, what? There's no way that would happen, right? There's no way. And we are so taught that we need to find the evidence in our external reality before we can actually claim that we are stepping into our $1 million identity or our 6-figure identity or a multi-6-figure identity, whatever that is for you, right? We have to see the external reality, like give us evidence of why we are that for us to actually feel that. But in order to manifest what it is that we desire, we have to feel that way first. We have to step into that identity first internally, because that is when our external reality comes in to match that, right? In the fastest timeline. That's how we quantum leap into a whole new reality. So to give you an example of this, when I was back manifesting $0 after $0, and I desired to manifest the first 6 figures into my life, I first had to step into that new identity. I had to actually ask myself, okay, if I was manifesting the 6 figures, what would my life look like? What would I have that is different to what I have now? But going beyond the having and beyond the desires into who would I be if I already had that money? How would I think about money? Would I be buying a coffee every single day? Absolutely. Would I be grateful for, spending money? Absolutely, because I know that money is flowing back to me tenfold. So it was all of these conceptualizations of who I was at the 6-figure version of me. Like, I would be pretty confident because I would already have the clients in my business. I would be pretty, disciplined, because in order to manifest the 6 figures, that required that disciplined version of me. And you see, you are a different version of you from where you are and where you desire to be. So that's what I had to step into and embody. And as soon as I did that, that's when I magnetized the life that I desired to me. We think that it is all, we have to go out there and get it. And absolutely, we can manifest from the 3D. So manifesting from the 3D is manifesting from the perspective of, okay, I see this is what I need to do. I need to go out there and make it happen. I need to hustle and take all of this action and use the next strategy to get where I desire to go. But when we are manifesting from the 4th dimension, when we are manifesting from tapping into a new timeline and becoming and stepping into that version of us, that's when we condense time and it becomes effortless. So it doesn't mean that there was no action taken. Of course there was. The law of action. We can't attract what we desire unless we take action. But it is effortless. It is less effort. So it was less effort, and money started to come from me from all directions. So I stepped into that version of me before I had the physical evidence in my 3D. Because the thing is, and what I really want to reiterate here, is that that version of you already exists in the quantum realm. That 6-figure version of you already exists in the quantum realm. my millionaire identity and self already exists in the quantum realm. So having the audacity to step into her first is actually just tapping into a new timeline which already exists in the quantum realm. So without getting into the nitty-gritty behind quantum physics, all you need to understand is that your desires already exist. So this version of you already exists. So while it seems like it is bold, while it seems that, oh my goodness, she is talking about stepping into a $1 million identity when her 3D reality doesn't say that she is a millionaire. Who does she think she is? But really, that is why it's the audacity to be her, because that timeline already exists. Your desires already exist. So we have to become her first and be her and declare that we are her first. And that is when the whole universe, source angels, like whoever you put your belief into, lines up to give you exactly what you want. So about a month and a half ago, when I made this decision to fully step into my $1 million identity, I cannot even explain the things that have happened already, the shifts that have happened already, because I decided to have the audacity to be her. And the things that have happened, so even literally a few days after I made this decision, my partner Josh and I were just walking, having our morning coffee one morning, and Josh decided to calculate our properties. So we've invested in a few properties. He decided to calculate the equity in the properties, and it was already well on our way to $1 million. And then this program came up in my awareness that I knew that I had to invest into. And when I made that decision to invest in that, so many other things have shifted, have lined up, that I know that I'm going to be stepping into the $1 million, the $1 million identity in my 3D realm so much faster than I could have ever imagined and anticipated was possible. So the reason we do this is to condense time in receiving what it is that we desire. Because yes, there's so many ways to attract the 6 figures or the $1 million. If you're going down the linear pathway, it's going to take longer time. But when we decide to step into that new timeline, everything shifts to line up to give you what it is that you desire. And I want to make it clear here, it's not just the money, right? It's who you become on that journey. From the $0 to the 6 figures was a completely different version of me. And this version of me that I've stepped into is so fucking powerful and incredible, and I love her so much, right? It's the deepening of your love. It's the deepening of relationships. It is attracting the dream home. It is attracting the car, the time freedom, all of the things that the $1 million version of you is living, or the 6-figure version of you is living, right? Because you had the audacity to step into her. Like, this work is so powerful, and that's why I wanted to come on here in this particular podcast episode and talk about claiming this identity and take you on this journey with me as I step into her more and more, right? Because this is actually what I teach in Audacity to Be Her, which is my 3-month mastermind. It's audacity to step into the 6-figure version of you. So everything that I did in that space where I went from 0 to the 6 figures within the year, all of that, the energy, the identity work, so that you can claim that new reality. You can step into her first, and that's when everything lines up to give you exactly what you want. Because it's 99% mindset energetics, and literally like 1% of it is strategy. So if we don't have the mindset and the energetic that is aligned with that first, then we're going to be manifesting from the 3D, and it's going to be a lot of work. Like we're like swimming upstream to try and make it happen. Like rather than going with the flow and the effortless way to be taken, to be led exactly to that 6 figures. So that's really powerful. That's what I actually teach in Audacity to Be Her. So if that is something that you're feeling the pull towards, then I'll pop the details down below. But I'm really excited to take you on this journey within the podcast, within the YouTube channel, to see and uncover these deeper layers of her and stepping into this $1 million identity. So that's what I really wanted to talk about on today's podcast episode, of how I'm fully stepping in and claiming this version of me. So to give you the permission to do that as well. Because if you can visualize that version of you, then she already exists, right? She already exists, just waiting for you to make that internal decision and claim and step into her. So I'm really, really excited, because 2025 is going to be the best year yet, because you're making that internal decision that it is going to be.